So I'm just going to go down and get some firewood. It's one of those afternoons where I sort of have an hour before dark. I don't really want to kick off my next job, so firewood's a good intermediate job. Whereas where I'm getting it from, in a paddock, my neighbour's paddock, and I've pretty much got a whole spotted gum that I can dispose of, and over the last few weeks I've been cutting it up and he's been helping out with the tractor and everything. So I've got all this firewood that I've gradually been processing, bringing back. This is probably going to be the 5th trailer load or something. But yeah, I'm just going to go pick up some pieces we cut yesterday, show you the tree, show you the place, have a bit of a chat about firewood. Someone's got a fire up there on the hill. It's like whenever you get a cool day this time of year, because it's spring now, so summer's getting closer, but there'll always be someone kicking off a big fire because it's burning off all the chaff and rubbish in the paddocks. Just hazard reduction burning. There's one thing about being on properties is just always a rule that you always leave the gates as you find them. Got some nice new posts here. Look at that lovely fig tree, that's beautiful. That's the Williams River down there, just behind that paddock. So the wood pile's just down here. I'll just drive down and show you. It's a lovely place to work. Kookaburra up on the wire there. Another one over there. Looks like there's a bit of rain on the way. Wind's picking up. It's got to be about 15 degrees colder than yesterday. We need some rain. It hasn't rained for quite a while and the ground has dried out quite a bit. It's quite chalky, so what you end up getting is even when it does rain, it doesn't quite soak in or run off. Cause quite a bit of erosion as well. So we do need some more consistent rain. It's been quite dry for a long time. And last time it rained, which is very typical for here, it rains and then the next 4 days after the rainy days, it just gets super windy and dries everything out again. There it is. This has got to be about a quarter of what was originally there. So there's an entire tree. It's just three branches of trees, sorry. I was going to pick up these little bits today. We grabbed them yesterday. I sliced them up, and my neighbour was holding the log with the tractor bucket, which is really handy. I brought out my garden rake, and this stuff's just trash really, and it's a bit of a fire risk but in the paddock, but it's really good for mulch at home. So I normally just pick up a pile of that, put it under the logs to hold it down, and take it home and run the mower over it, and it makes a nice, almost like sugarcane mulch. So picked up all those bits we chopped yesterday. Still some of these little thinner sticks around. I'm going to come back with the pruning shears another day and get them. They're really good for getting the fire going, but they're also really good for other things around the garden too. A lot of this thin brush, some of it I'll use some of their own. I want to try and get the most out of this log. I think it's a pity people waste stuff. A lot of these farmers, they'll just put a match to it and burn it in situ when there's like 3 years worth of firewood here. But anyway, so I'm glad he told me about it and come in and get some. But I'm just going to get the chainsaw out. I'll have a bit of a chat about that, but I'll just lob off a few of these thinner 2 or 3 inch diameter pieces. Was their idea, we don't need to split them or anything. This is my Stihl 311 chainsaw. This is what I used to do all of this work. It's pretty standard as far as chainsaws go. We've got our fuel tank here. I'll just chuck a bit more fuel in there. And we've got our bar oil at the front here. So obviously it's 2 strokes, so it has a 50:1 ratio of oil to fuel, which I mix up beforehand in this 5 litre drum here. I always keep that full. I don't want to be mixing up the oil every time, so let's make up a pre-batch of 5 litres. And then this is the bar oil. The bar oil lubricates the chain of the saw. That goes in this front reservoir here, and as the chain turns around it picks that up, the bar oil, and yeah, just lubricates all the teeth. I'm in no way a chainsaw expert. I've only owned this one for, well, probably 10 years, but I've used it 100 hours or something. Main thing, eye protection and ear protection. So that's the MS311. Obviously chainsaws are very dangerous machines, and I'm no expert. This is not an instruction video, I'm just showing you what I do. Yeah, really dangerous when you're trying to cut up logs on the ground, particularly because they can shift around, and as you cut them the centre of gravity changes and things like that. When you've got a branch in the air held just by one end, it's more predictable, like you lop it off and they'll just fall off. When you've got something on the ground is a hazard, so doing it like that I find safe-ish. And also when my neighbour who's just over there in the other paddock, when he comes along and lifts the whole log off the ground and I can just cut it from the end, it's also safer. I'm just going to rake up some of this trash more for the leaf, the straw for the garden, for the leaf mulch, and put a tarp on and head back. So it's going to rain. I filled a few spots. So one of the reasons why I like the trash from this paddock, like this sort of straw as opposed to like lawn clippings, is that this is dried out and it's longer and the straws are thicker. So if I was to use lawn clippings, it's far more of a green product than a brown product, as people like to talk about with manure. It's drier, it's more like a mulch straw type combination, better for preventing evaporation, but you can compost it as well. If I was to use my lawn clippings, or someone else's lawn clippings has been cut with a mower, like a push mower, you're going to end up with something that's going to break down a lot quicker because there's far more water content, far less cellulose for the amount of water, but also it's just not physically as strawy, so it's going to make a much more dense cover, which is not really what I want. So it has its own place, this sort of chaff. that's a full trailer load there of a bit of chaff and mainly wood. Cut a few new pieces as well. So it's getting dark. I'll probably head back, reverse the trailer in and unload that in the morning, and show you guys the wood pile at home, and show you guys what I do with the chaff as well, and how I turn that into kind of the equivalent of sugarcane mulch, and comes out pretty well. Anyway, talk to you later. See how that chaff breaks down. Just ran over the mower, and it makes a nice mulch. This red iron bar is really good, burns hot. Old fence post, mahogany. And these are some oversized pieces here, which I've got to tackle. Very hard. So with some of that wood I just collected, it's green spotted gum, but it does actually burn green. But I've heard that if you let it go more than a couple of weeks, then it won't burn, and then you've got to let it go 6 months before it'll burn again. But it does actually burn green, but most of that is for next year, or the year after, or the year after. I really do think I've probably got a couple of years there, particularly what's still out there. At the moment I'm burning them old fence posts and things like that. So what I just went to get then was really for next year. Anyway, hope you enjoy.